Thanks and welcome to join me, Kijang Henry, at before the 6:15 news. Let's get on rolling with our headlines. Three-year-old child freed from captivity in the north region of Cameroon by security.
The fear of the unknown is still visible on the face of this.
Three-year-old child freed from captivity in the north region of Cameroon. Security reports say family members masterminded the entire operation that led to the kidnap of the child. And the new finance law affects examination fee in primary school. We are going to get updates of the new law. Those were our top stories. Thanks and welcome to join me. I'm Kijang Henry at Hook up with us on our social media platform on Canal International. A 3-year-old child has been rescued from captivity in the north region of Cameroon. Security reports say a family member masterminded the entire operation that led to the kidnap of the child. The area of captivity was totally unearthed, with the assailants neutralized during the operation. With calls from our North Bureau regional correspondent Aissatou Buba, more in the report.
The fear of the unknown is still visible on the face of this 3-year-old boy. He lived in extreme horror in captivity, taken hostage by a group of kidnappers in Lagdo area of the North region. He was the target of this group of armed men. What is surprising yet is that a member of the family is involved in the kidnap. He masterminded the operation that brought in other armed men from another division, carried out the operation. Informed by the kidnap case, the Garoua Gendarmerie Company quickly set up strategies that paved way for his release. The area of captivity has been totally unearthed, with more assailants neutralized during the operation. We want to thank all those who gave us information that paved way for a quick intervention. Security forces are committed to completely arresting the phenomenon that has given many sleepless nights. The inhabitants have been told to play a bigger role by denouncing suspects.
And the Judicial Police Department in Bafoussam, West region of Cameroon, has dismantled a notorious gang of armed robbers. They were picked up following a tip-off from area residents, as we hear from Ambo Gladys Diba.
These are the 5 alleged bandits who recently escaped from a police station in Bafoussam in the West region of Cameroon. These ex-convicts are said to have masterminded and perpetrated several acts in the West regional headquarters.
Plus d'une quarantaine de braquages spectaculaires.
They have carried out about 40 spectacular robberies with the use of arms. These men burgle homes using sophisticated weapons and seize the belongings of their victims.
De leurs avoirs et des numéraires.
Inhabitants of the Soukada, Gabon Bar neighborhoods and those at the vicinities of brasseries live in constant fear as they are the usual targets. The men of the underworld were arrested by the anti-criminal brigade of the Judicial Police in the West region following a tip-off.
C'est à la suite d'un renseignement judiciaire.
Following an inquiry on December 31, 2022, one of the gang members, commonly called Esprit, was intercepted in the Obesh neighborhood as he was trying to liquidate the booty of one of their robberies. He was obliged to reveal the names of the other gang members who live in the village and Dokbassi neighborhoods in Douala.
Particulièrement dans les quartiers, villages et Dokbassi.
The alleged bandits have appeared before the State Council in Bafoussam.
61 gendarmerie officers of the National Gendarmerie Instruction Center in Yaoundé are in Douala to complete a practical phase of their studies. In fact, they have to demonstrate their abilities and, of course, morals, which are all important tools in their profession. Details with Stephanie Chain.
It is at the 1st Gendarmerie Legion that over 61 trainee gendarme officers made their first stop as part of their training to have an exchange with their superiors. They are in Douala to upgrade their skills as officers in command of the Gendarmerie Squadron. We would like to have people well equipped with necessary skills to excel in a difficult security environment like we have here in Douala. Amongst the 61 officers on training are 12 captains and 49 lieutenants, amongst them 12 female personnel from Congo, the Central African Republic and Cameroon. They visited the Gendarmerie command post at the Douala port and a factory to get a clear view of their work program and how to fight against terrorism and other upheavals. The objective here is to better understand the security challenges which the units face on the field and also to better understand our role as future commanders. From Douala, the trainee officers left for Kribi, Bipinzi and Edea, where they will be expected to learn more and demonstrate their skills in ensuring security.
Thanks, Stephanie Chin. One person is reported dead with dozens seriously injured after a truck overturned down a valley in Banjul, West region of Cameroon. The truck was on very high speed when the accident occurred. Ambo Gladys Dibang.
The accident in Jerem, Banjul, West region of Cameroon, left one person dead and 59 others wounded. Amongst the victims, 18 with serious injuries rushed to the Bafoussam Regional Hospital for treatment. The accident occurred on January 10 as the victims were heading to a plantation on board a truck. It was difficult to open the back of the truck. This lady helped us with an axe which we used to chisel the door.
This
morning, the laborers were going to the plantation when the truck transporting them developed a mechanical fault and immediately overturned into a gutter. There were 60 people on board the vehicle and some of them were badly injured. As soon as the population was alerted, rescuers stormed the scene to save the victims. Some of them were rushed to the Catholic Medical Center in Banjul and serious cases referred to the Bafoussam Regional Hospital. At the level of the Bafoussam Regional Hospital, we have received 18 victims, 5 of them evacuated to the referral hospital in Kwekom for scanning. It should be noted that the transportation of persons by truck is normal in the West region.
And the new finance law that goes operational this January 2023 has affected the basic education sector, with examinations fee experiencing an increment from 5,000 to 6,000 francs CFA as a result of an increase in the fiscal stamp. Parents who are still grappling with the registration of their children and this January have to pay the price. Our reporter Maureen D went to the regional delegation of basic education for the littoral for more explanations.
The news on the increase of registration fees for official examinations at the level of primary schools, that is, first school, SEP, common entrance, remains disturbing to some parents still scrambling for late registration in January. They are paying the price as the new finance law comes into force.
If actually it is increasing, it should be for next year, not next academic year, not this particular year. Because registration starts at as from September to January. January, they are just doing, they are just finalizing the documents.
The regional delegate for basic education expatiates.
Yesterday, it was 5,000 per exam. Today, it is 6,000 per exam. Because with the new law of finance, there is 500 additional. Every exam needs 2 stamps. This means that 500 for the two stamps means that 1,000. That's the reason we move from 5,000 to 6,000.
It is not supposed to hold the parents because parents have already paid. If you increase now the stamps or anything of the sort, then you are penalizing the principals or the head teachers of schools.
According to the regional delegate for basic education for the littoral, 95% of parents had complied with registration modalities, with just 5% paying the price of late payments this January. Over 110,000 candidates are expected to sit in for official examinations. It should be noted, primary education was declared free in Cameroon since 2000, with registration fees for examinations fixed at 5,000 francs CFA. This has remained unchanged for the past 10 years. With high costs of living, some parents have expressed frustration.
Thanks very much, Maureen. The year 2022 was marked by various social upheavals that deeply affected the lives of Cameroonians. Violence in major cities of the country, as well as natural disasters resulting to the loss of lives, displacement of the population, and disturbances of social peace and justice, as well as cohesion. Let's revisit the year in retrospect with Hyacinth Cheer from Yaoundé.
The Yaoundé capital city was thrown into panic and fear of the unknown in 2022 with a series of 3 locally made explosives in some neighborhoods. A situation that sent the denizens on their heels, but was quickly handled by local and administrative authorities alongside the forces of law and order. The Mosgom and Arab Shua's intertribal war in the Laguna Shari division of the Far North region witnessed the loss of lives and the displacement of over 240 families fleeing into neighboring Chad for safety. The part of the region was equally heavily hit by natural hazards like recurrent floods. But hope in the vulnerable population was rekindled by the presidential couple through the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, with relief materials of basic needs. The social unrest in the northwest and southwest regions continued to subject citizens under untold difficulties. Displacement throughout the year into other regions of the country, constituting the rising number of internally displaced persons engaging into unhealthy activities to make ends meet. And statistics from the Ministry of Transport revealed that over 3,000 Cameroonians perished in road accidents in 2022 as a result of reckless driving, not forgetting the porous state of some national roads. And the tragic landslide incident at the Damas neighborhood in Yaoundé on November 27 equally squeezed life out of some 15 Cameroonians, putting the entire locality in shock and total distress. And the social peace of the economic capital city Douala was also shaken by barbaric activities of the armed groups of young men who called themselves Lemmy Crop in December 2022, where they perpetrated acts of violence, brutalizing the population on the streets, collecting money and valuable items.
Well, thanks very much, Hyacinth Cheer, for that retrospective from the social angle. As we saw it in 2022, advocacy for the fight against corruption to take a new dimension in Cameroon and Moscow with the anti-corruption law. That was the focus of a working session between members of the National Anti-Corruption Commission, led by Reverend Dr. Jedune Masigams, and members of the Network of Parliamentarians for the Fight Against Corruption, headed by Honorable Enkubel Esuba. Beatrice Ngamo, Chief Correspondent from Yaoundé, reports.
The fight against corruption needs to go beyond lipping and papers to action from this year 2023. In his end-of-year address to the nation, the President insists that we must enhance public management governance by fighting corruption and embezzlement of public funds, adding all those found guilty of financial malpractices or illicit enrichment will face the consequences before the competent law. It is to buttress this that the National Anti-Corruption Commission is eyeing a law at Parliament.
If the law is voted, and if the Parliament can do it, it will be very, very important and we will succeed.
What carried Dieudonné Massigams to Parliament at the Yaoundé Conference Center? And so the working session with the members of Parliamentary Network for the Fight Against Corruption move for CONAC to become independent.
So we are going to make it independent, budget independent, so that it should be sufficient for them to get to the field and make sure everything is correct.
The people's representative wants not only to make their voices heard, but to be blunt in ensuring they kill the cankerworm, one of the major causes of underdevelopment in the country.
Thanks, Beatrice in Camu. Reporting there from Yaoundé, it is a dawn of a new era for the Evangelical Church in Cameroon following the commissioning into office January 10 at the church headquarters in Douala of a new bureau. The installation follows a recent election of a new church president of that institution. Details with Sherifa Saleh.
After a protracted crisis that lasted 5 years within the ranks of the Evangelical Church of Cameroon, a transition committee set up to resolve the matter has successfully supervised the designation of a new National Executive Bureau. Its members were formally installed this January 10 at the church head office in Douala. The church has a future project, and I pray to the Lord that He gives strength to all these faithful to be able to come together so that we can hatch the long-awaited egg of peace and reconciliation. This handover ceremony comes to close the 5 years of crisis within the church. For the faithful, it is a great day which marks the history of the Evangelical Church of Cameroon. The Evangelical Church today is committed to a new time, and this commitment is not that of the national office alone. It is the commitment of every Christian in the Evangelical Church in Cameroon. Members of the Oversight Committee, members of the Transition Office, and national directors calls on the faithful to return to the now peaceful church for the betterment of a new reign.
Thanks very much, Sherifa Saleh reporting that. That was it for the 6:15 news. I've been Kejang Henry Athembe, thanking you for your kind attention. The brief comes up with Janice Kamga all the way from our Yaoundé Bureau. Good day.